Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to crochet the thermal stitch. It's a variation of the single crochet stitch. The only difference is where we insert our hook. The thermal stitch makes a very dense, thick fabric, which makes it perfect for pot holders, trivets, throw rugs, placemats, and coasters. Today I'll be showing you how to make this pot holder. I'm using 2mm cotton macrame cord, which I think gives it a more elevated look, and it's a great way to bring some natural fibers to your kitchen decor. I used a size L or 8mm crochet hook. You can use any type of yarn or cord that you like. Toward the end, I'll show you how to attach a wooden ring and also finish off the last row to give you a nice finished edge. So grab your supplies and let's have some fun crocheting. We start this project by making a slip knot. Start by making a chain and the width needed to make the project you want. It can be any number of chains. I do recommend chaining very loosely or using a chainless single crochet foundation. I made an 8-inch square pot holder, so I chained 20. The number of chains needed will depend on the material that you're using as well as the size of your crochet hook. I'll work the first row in the back bumps of the chain, so turn it over to the back and you can see the back bump sticking up. Working in the second chain, insert your hook into that back bump. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through the 2 loops on your hook. That makes your first single crochet. Single crochet in each back bump until you reach the end. Chaining loosely makes it a lot easier to work into that back bump. If your first row is curled a bit, you can just straighten it out like you see me doing here. To start row 2, we chain 1 and turn our work. We're going to start working the thermal stitch. Normally we work into the top 2 loops of a stitch. For the thermal stitch, we work into the back loop of a single crochet as well as a loop from our starting chain. Here are the 2 loops from the starting chain. We'll be working in the loop closest to us. It's easier to crochet the thermal stitch if you turn the work toward you. Insert your hook into the back loop of the first single crochet as well as the loop of the starting chain right below it. We'll finish the stitch just like an ordinary single crochet stitch. The only difference is that we insert our hook in 2 loops instead of 1. Yarn over, pull up a loop, I like to turn the work back over to its normal position. Yarn over, pull through the 2 loops on your hook to finish your single crochet stitch. Insert your hook into the back loop of the next stitch, as well as the chain right below it. Yarn over, pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook. We do that all the way across the row. Pause the video, continue working your stitches, and I'll meet you at the last stitch of the row. I'm at the last stitch of the row. I completed just like the others, it's just a little tighter to get into. That completes row 2. To start row 3, we chain 1 and turn our work. We work the stitches in exactly the same way as the previous row. We just have different loops to go into. Insert your hook into the back loop of the first single crochet, as well as the available loop below it. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2. Continue making thermal stitches all the way across the row. Repeat this row until you reach the desired height that you need. If you plan to attach a wooden ring, the number of rows that you need will depend on the size wooden ring that you're using. I used a 1.89-inch ring, so I stopped crocheting complete rows until I had 3 left to reach the height that I needed. I've completed the last full row of stitches that I need. I have 3 rows left. I want to start decreasing the stitches in the last 3 rows so that I can fit the wooden ring on the side. I have 3 stitches left. I'm going to complete the next 2 stitches like I normally would. I leave the last stitch unworked. Chain 1 and turn your work. I want to leave the first stitch of this row unworked, so I skip the first stitch and start working into the second stitch. Complete the thermal stitch all the way across the row. When you reach the end of this row, chain 1 and turn your work. We'll complete the last row together. We want our last row to have a nice finished edge. We don't want the loops from any unworked stitches showing, so we work the last row a little differently. Instead of working in the back loop only of the first stitch, we work under both top loops like we normally would for a single crochet. We're still going to pick up that loop from the row below. You should have 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through 3 of the loops. Yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops to complete the stitch. You'll do that all the way across this row. Insert your hook under both top loops of the next stitch and into the loop from the row below. Yarn over and pull through 3 loops. Yarn over and pull through the last 2 loops. Pause the video and continue working the thermal stitch across the row. I'll meet you at the last stitch. I complete the last thermal stitch of the row, and I'm going to add a nice finished edge along the side of our unfinished rows. So I want to slip stitch into each row. It can be a little difficult to see where to stitch. Just do the best that you can. The number of slip stitches you need may depend on the size of your ring and how many unfinished rows you have. Cut the yarn or cord, pull it through the loop, and sew in your tail. You can see we have a nice finished edge along the top side. We're ready to insert the wooden ring. This can be a little awkward holding on to it while stitching. Insert your hook into the top slip stitch. Lay the yarn or cord over the hook and pull up a loop. Hold the wooden ring into position. Insert the hook into the ring, yarn over, and pull it through the loop on your hook. Insert your hook into the next slip stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, move your ring into position, insert your hook into the ring, yarn over, and pull it through the 2 loops on your hook. Complete the same steps for all remaining slip stitches. When you reach the end of your slip stitches, cut the yarn or cord and pull it through the last loop on your hook. To give this a neater, finished look, I push the top of the stitches to the back of the pot holder by wiggling the ring and pulling those stitches so that they're flat against the back of the pot holder. When you have them in position, sew in your tails. This completes today's project. I hope you found it helpful. If so, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video.